Hey everyone. Okay, so right at the gate, after spending some time to get to the lay of the land of the human world, Frey's group learns of a hero who's been liberating towns and settlements by exposing Elfit as a fraudulent god, leading to the reveal that this hero is in fact Yakuto. And the person telling them all this is Lip, as in yes, god of the underworld Lip. So despite what happened, both ended up somehow being reincarnated into the human world. Now, admittedly, I was way off base in my assumption that this person was Himiko, and that the flag itself should have been the most obvious dead giveaway, as much from a clear as day showed a black and white dragon, which in itself is basically symbolic of basically showing us that this was Yakuto, as his root is the black and white dragon. But this does bring up several questions. The first and most obvious one I have is, where is Himiko now? Because right now I'm kind of not liking I'm kind of getting a little uneasy by the implication this chapter seems to be leaning into that Yakuto might have killed her. Like, I hope I'm wrong and that's not actually what happened, but there is an uneasy feeling about this reveal of Himiko missing. In fact, even beyond just maybe Yakuto doing it intentionally, I almost wonder if Mashima is setting up for Himiko to have become a unintentional casualty of the rebellion that was pretty much started, but that was started by Yakuto in order to in order to start the rebellion, in order to start the uprising against Alpha. Almost like one of those situations where, in his attempt in order to rally people behind his cause, the people ended up killing Himiko in a riot, believing her to be a servant of Elfit. Like, again, I don't want to believe that's the case, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was, frankly. In saying that, though, the time scaling of this chapter was kind of wild. As we learn, it's only been a couple months for Frey and the others waiting in the demon worlds, but according to Lip, it's been 15 years at least from my understanding of the timeline. So yeah, time really flew by for everyone. And one thing I am curious about is just what is going to be the crux of the conflict now that we're here in the human world, because I know obviously the major point of conflict is to defeat Elfid by stripping him of the thing he relies on most, the faith in humanity. But with Yakuto having got a 15-year head start over the others in this department, I'd definitely like to take stock of that progress. Like, if we take Lip's words at face value, then there are in fact other liberated zones, but how many more is the biggest question I have. Like, if I had to take a shot in the dark, I'm guessing a lot of Yakuto's progress has been using guerrilla tactics in order to help create these liberated strongholds. So if we were to look at all this on a map, I think we'd find a lot of the outlier areas are what would be considered liberated zones, whereas there's still many larger nations that haven't given up their faith in Alpha. That would be my personal guess anyway, at least when taking stock of Lip's words and how they're like Mashima very specifically used liberated zones, like he used zones in order to describe it. So I don't know. So I wouldn't be surprised if despite the 15-year time jump, that Yakuto hasn't made as much progress as you might think. Like, that there's only a very small section of the world that actually has stopped believing in Alpha at this point. Which, yeah, if so, then that would mean that there's still a lot of work to do. Circling back to Lip, though, I really want to know how he ended up here, because if memory serves, the last time we saw him, he was fighting back Elfid while the others escaped, leading to him kind of getting caught up in the underworld's destruction. So how did he end up here to begin with? Unless he slipped, because the only thing that makes sense is that he slipped through a crack in the plane of existence that allowed him in order to be reborn. But that's my best guess, but it's one that requires a little bit more explanation, unless it was part of the initial conversation with Lip about reincarnation back when they were still in the underworld, and I missed that part. But yeah, there's kind of a lot of there's a lot of what there's kind of like what exactly, how did this happen kind of thing that need a little bit of answering. But regardless, the most interesting part for me is that seemingly because of Yakuto's efforts, demons aren't as looked down upon as they would be had Frey and her team arrived earlier. So if anything, even if Yakuto hasn't made a huge dent in the fight in order to stop believing in Elfid, it'll still be interesting to see how the sort of dynamic with humans and demons explored throughout the series now, because while I doubt Yakuto has completely purged hatred of demons, he seemingly has made it to where not everyone hates them. So I'll be curious to see how Mashin explores that dynamic from here, if anything else. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Blue Sky, Analyst Crunchyroll, Vision Picture Bell, subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight, signing off. Later, everyone.